And thank you for your company this week. Have a great weekend.
Take care. Good night.
Good night.
This is Win News.
Tonight, concerns over potential impact oil spills will have on our coast. Politicians unite to say no to daylight saving. And there's a question mark over the multi-purpose stadium. Good evening, I'm Samantha Heathwood.
And I'm Dan Sercombe. Later in sport, a star-studded launch for the new basketball season.
Mackay conservationists have growing concerns over an oil disaster closer to home, with a number of ships trekking through the reef on the increase. In the wake of the Shenang 1 debacle, they believe multi-million-dollar fines aren't enough. Meantime, the 3 sailors who steered the MV Mimosa into a restricted area of the Great Barrier Reef have been fined $70,000 each. The Townsville Magistrates Court ordered that they pay the fine in 2 weeks or face 12 months in jail. The drink driver who killed Kathy Freeman's brother has lost an appeal against her 7-year sentence. Crystal Patricia Blackaby had a blood alcohol reading of 0.27 when, in September 2008, she hit a parking truck, killing Norman Freeman. A regional mayor has vented his anger at missing out on a government handout to cover amalgamation costs. Only a quarter of councils who applied for the funding received the much-needed assistance. Motorists will be able to drive across the new Forgan-Smith Bridge from Sunday morning. Southbound traffic will be diverted first. Northbound vehicles will be transferred at lunchtime. Access to the old bridge will then be closed, with demolition set to begin next week. It's becoming apparent the majority of Mackay residents will vote against daylight saving in southeast Queensland if the issue is taken to a referendum. Both sides of politics believe local industries will feel the biggest impact. Senator Barnaby Joyce ruffled a few feathers today when he questioned the progress of Mackay's multi-purpose stadium. The federal government hit back, saying things are progressing well. Ahead in the news, experts on the way to deal with nurses' pay debacle. Then meet some of our newest Aussie citizens. Welcome back, you're watching Win News. Health Minister Paul Lucas can't guarantee thousands of Queensland health workers will be paid properly next week. 2 computer software experts are being flown in from Canada to sort out some of the payroll dramas. Now to this week's Win poll results. We wanted to know if you think the Cyclone Alui recovery money has gone to the right people. 90% of callers said no. And on to Fuel Watch, the cheapest place to find unleaded today was at the BP on Shakespeare Street for $1.26.9. Diesel could also be purchased for $1.26.9 at the United on Sydney Street. 26 people have officially adopted football, meat pies and kangaroos after becoming the country's newest citizens last night. In front of Mackay Regional Council Mayor Col Meng, former residents of Zimbabwe, China, South Africa, Peru and Nepal pledged their allegiance to the flag. Sports next, Dan, a big game for the Cutters.
Yes, Sam, they take on the Pride in the Northern Derby. More on that after the break. Plus Mackay basketball's season launch.
This sports report brought to you by Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning.
Coach Paul Bramley is hoping winning form is good form when the Cutters meet the Northern Pride in Cairns tomorrow afternoon. The last round victory has the Cutters camp upbeat about claiming the 2 points. The Meteors and Meteorettes tip off their QBL season with 3 trials in Rockhampton this weekend. Both squads were introduced to sponsors and supporters at last night's official launch. More than 100 of the state's top triathletes are expected to contest Sunday's annual LJ Hooker Olympic Distance Triathlon. To racing now, and here's Ian Joblin with his selections for the weekend.
Well folks, good evening. It's Doncaster Day at Royal Randwick tomorrow. The AJC Oaks and the Galaxy, the 2 other Group 1 races on offer, look set to be a terrific afternoon of racing.
Thank you, Ian and Sam. That's the end of a big week in sport.
Thanks, Dan. Very big. Stay with us. Peter Byrne has the weather details next, then the Friday fishing report.
Good evening once again, Weather Watchers, and welcome to all the highs and lows of Win News. Appreciation this evening for our photograph goes to Ed Robart of Cooloola, that's down just north of the Sunshine Coast. Now, Ed's photograph features a beautiful sunrise over Tin Can Bay. Magnificent, isn't it? And the magic of a camera lens. Thanks, Ed, and I hope you're watching. Righto, temperatures around the region today, nothing extraordinary, my type of temperatures. A top of 28 for Clermont, Moranbah 29. Now, very little shower activity till 9 this morning, but I won't guarantee it, but there's a good chance that that shower activity will increase quite dramatically over the next 2 to 3 days. But the best till 9 this morning was Mackay 6mm, Youngalla 5, Sarracks 4 and Hamilton Island 9mm. For the following 6 hours to 3 p.m, Hamilton Island again added 2mm to their April total. Current conditions for Mackay, the temperature 25, hasn't changed much, has it, all week. The first satellite picture of the nation shows again little cloud of significance through Queensland, and we know that that's rubbish, doesn't it? Or don't we? But these are the remnants of that vortex there well south of the Great Australian Bight. Right, on to the fair dinkum satellite picture at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Look at the cumulonimbus there, east of or abeam Shoalwater Bay. Probably the odd rumble of thunder out there. And there's an enhanced cluster of showers off the Yeppoon area. But at this stage, or a short time ago, there was very little shower activity through the local area, and the same applies right up and down the North Queensland coast. On to the chart, an oh-so-familiar pattern, plenty of isobars. ISO means the same bar as in barometer, so they're lines joining places of equal barometric pressure. Remember, they're every 4 hectopascal spacing. The high will remain slow moving. It will intensify. Consequently, for Saturday night, a strong wind warning has been issued for local coastal waters, but showers generally increasing, more scattered coastal ranges. Basically, the Central Coast and Whit Sunday, scattered showers, coastal ranges, more isolated away from the coast, and Sunday at this stage similar. For the Central Highlands, mostly fine, just 1 or 2 showers by afternoon. I think that sounds better than afternoon showers. Imagine being hit on the head by a piece of afternoon. And Sunday at this stage should be similar. Maritime observations at 1500 hours. Creel Reef southeast 19 knots, but they will increase if those forecasts are correct. Coastal waters, Bowen to St Lance, southeast winds of 20 to 25 knots. And for Sunday, even worse, stay at home, southeast winds 20 to 30 knots. Maybe practice a bit of marriage maintenance. Now, tidal information for Mackay Outer Harbour, 4.4 metres, high 1 minute after high noon tomorrow. Sun up for the city tomorrow, 6:16 in the morning. And finally, the summary. Now, I've persisted with the persistence again. In other words, little change for the foreseeable future. Have a great weekend. Now it's over to Clinton Hassan with the fishing report.
Good evening, folks. The wind's up this weekend. We'll give you a chance to do some maintenance on your boat or your fishing gear. Last weekend saw some of the best weather and fishing we've had all year. Until next Friday, have a safe weekend, and just remember, every day is a great day for fishing.
Thanks, Clinton. News headlines can be found on our website, wintv.com.au. From all the team, good night.
Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Win Television, Australia's largest commercial television network.